When I was a little boy, I didn't really get out much. When I wasn't in school, I was either playing video games or browsing the internet. There were a handful of small Mario message boards that I'd frequent, and I'd make dumb little webcomics and flash cartoons, and I was having the time of my life. My screen name on these websites was Yoshi Killa. I called myself that because I liked playing Super Mario World on my Game Boy in the backseat of my mom's car, and I thought it was so funny when you can throw Yoshi into a pit to get more jump height. Yeah, this is pretty lame, but I'm glad I had that kind of experience as a kid. Now as an adult, the internet is a lot more complicated and terrifying and miserable all the time. There are times I get nostalgic about the simple times where I could just go on a forum and talk about how much I love Shadow the Hedgehog or Bobobo. If you're a millennial, chances are you have some faint memory of some kind of internet community that you might have done cringy or silly stuff on when you were younger. And if you have those memories and that nostalgia, then you'll probably enjoy Hypnospace Outlaw a lot, like I did. It's not some empty nostalgia piece that just wears the aesthetic of the old internet. It also shows one of the most interesting ways I've ever seen a story told in a video game. Hypnospace Outlaw takes place in an alternate history 1999, where everybody you know has a Hypnospace headband that lets them browse the internet while they sleep. So you spend the whole game going from webpage to webpage on this bizarro, surreal version of the late 90s, early aughts internet. But you're not just browsing Chowderman's band page for the fun of it, you've got work to do. You play the role of an enforcer, a volunteer citizen whose task is to scour the internet on the lookout for illegal or malicious content. When you find and take down this naughty stuff, you get Hypno Coin, which you can use to purchase goodies like stickers for your desktop or new wallpapers and screensavers. I mean, look at this. This is amazing. How could you not love this? But if this aesthetic alone doesn't entice you, the game is actually a lot of fun to play and can be really, really clever. These web pages hide a lot of unique puzzles, and the path to get to the illegal content isn't always straightforward. I don't want to spoil anything yet, so I'll use the first case in the game as an example. You get an email from your boss saying there is a copyright infringement notice because apparently a lot of people have been uploading hot JPEGs of their favorite cartoon character, Gumshoe Gooper. But because the moderation of this service is so authoritarian, this counts as copyright infringement and you need to stop it immediately. But after you get that email, you're on your own with nothing other than a picture and a name to go on. You aren't given a link to the web pages who are hosting this content. You've got to figure this one out yourself. So what do? Well, probably the same thing you'd do in real life. Just Google it, I don't know. And oh hey, you find the web page of a first grade teacher who was uploading examples of her students' art. Yeah, right away this game makes it clear that your bosses who make these rules might not be the most morally upstanding people in the world. The game goes on to give you really challenging puzzles that are always moved forward by your own sense of exploration, and during the entire thing it's contextualized so well within these web pages, to the point where your discovery of the story feels really organic, almost like you're just sitting at your own desk doing research in your web browser. The game captures what it was like to browse the old internet so well, the crappy GIFs, the annoying autoplay music, the weird experimental interactive fiction that people post. It's great. And going through these pages and discovering the secrets within really makes you feel like some kind of digital archaeologist. And at this point, I've run out of things I can say about this game without spoiling some of its magic. Seriously, I am about to spoil the best parts of this game's story, and I really, really think this game is very special and best enjoyed without knowing anything that happens in it. So go on Steam and buy it. It's $20 and only like 9 hours long, and it's well worth it. Don't come back to this video until you've gotten to the credits. Okay? Okay. I can't remember the last time a game emotionally affected me like this moment did in Hypnospace Outlaw. Every one of the names on this list of victims was a name that I recognized. Names of characters that made silly websites I was laughing at a few minutes earlier now were a list of deaths. I think this is a moment that really highlights the power of the methods by which Hypnospace Outlaw tells its story. Nearly all of this game is diegetic. The web pages were made by its characters, the music plays through its browser, and characters are introduced by sending you an email where they introduce themselves. No omniscient force embellishes the experience, and all aspects that you are seeing and hearing in this game are made by its characters. And this commitment to world building and making sure each element makes sense to appear on your screen really grounds the story and makes suspension of disbelief so much easier. Experiencing Hypnospace Outlaw's story doesn't feel like you're playing a game or watching a movie or reading a book. It almost feels like you're discovering a part of your own world that you never knew existed. And before the mind crash, this immersive quality is used primarily for humor, but after, it's used to deliver a particularly powerful message about the way that capitalism can taint artistic expression and freedom, especially among young people. Dylan Merchant doesn't really have a clear real-world analog, at least not in my opinion. If you ask me, he's an amalgamation of so many tech CEOs and Silicon Valley guys, and his place within the story serves better as a concept rather than an actual character. His actions in the public sphere show a personality that's approachable and hip. He makes music, he's developing a video game, he's young, handsome, and could easily fit in with the cool teens who are using his service. And that's exactly the kind of manufactured hipness that we see not only in figureheads for popular companies and brands, but often those companies and brands themselves. Modern advertising has become so subversive that one of the most effective and pervasive forms of advertising has now become these snarky and meme-savvy brand accounts on Twitter and Tumblr and Facebook. These companies are taking advantage of people's social media feeds, presenting them ads as if they were just another post from one of their friends. And when a product or service makes that cognitive link, making you think that they're your friend, they make more money. And ultimately, that is all they care about. It's revealed that Dylan Merchant is responsible for the deaths resulting from the year 2000 mine crash. In the end, he confesses and makes it clear that his critical folly was to put profits over human safety. While he made sure to keep up his cool guy persona in public spaces, leaked private chats reveal his true intentions of pleasing investors and retaining Hypnospace's user base. And the ultimate lesson learned from this game's story is that corporate interests and a capitalistic drive towards maximizing profits by whatever means necessary are undermining the beautiful thing that the internet was and is. A home for surrealist art, interactive fiction, music, nostalgia, and any number of beautifully strange and gleeful expressions of humankind's unbridled creativity. And Hypnospace Outlaw really wants us to remember that the internet can be okay sometimes. Maybe.